Counting on the truth behind Jana Duggar's lazy parenting. Counting on alum Jana Duggar has faced controversies over the years for her parenting. The 31-year-old mom has been accused of exploiting her kids to endorse products and programs on social media. But it's not the only issue Ben's wife has faced. Some Redditors even recalled hearing she has lazy parenting. Keep reading to see the discussion. Jana is back on social media sharing fun content about her family. Last week, the Counting on alum admired her husband, Ben, for being the best cook, adding that he made a fantastic spread for their home date. This also shuts down the speculation that the two are facing marital issues. Even Jinger and Jeremy chimed in on the controversy on their recent podcast, saying that the rumors about Ben and Jessa were all false. Some Redditors discussed Jessa's parenting and why she has faced many issues over the years. According to some, the Counting on alum allegedly blanket trained her kids, which is a questionable parenting practice. Others also recalled the time when she posted a video in her house where 10 diapers were piled onto her dresser, and people were disgusted by it. This made some fans think Jana Duggar is a lazy parent. Others also called her out for her lazy birthday presents for her kids, which all came from Amazon. I remember a long time ago she posted a video in their old house where there were like 10 dirty diapers piled onto her dresser, or something. People were pretty disgusted by that. There's an old house tour where they show their clogged toilet, including the excrement inside. She just has a very monotone, bland persona, and this carries over to her parenting. She doesn't seem like she enjoys her kids. No wrapped presents. Just a plain, boring Amazon box. Would it kill her to try to add joy to her kids' birthdays? For me, it's less about her lazy parenting and her general lack of hygiene in her home, which I have no doubt is based off of how she grew up. Jana Duggar also made headlines last September for sharing family photos in which some of her kids suspiciously covered her. This made some Counting on fans speculate that she may be pregnant with a sixth child. According to some, Jana is long overdue if she's following a certain pattern of giving birth to kids. However, Jana later took to the comments section of her post to tell a fan that she wasn't pregnant, adding that she only had too much ice. Jana Duggar indulges in fun Halloween traditions. Jana Duggar and Jeremy didn't miss out on the fun of Halloween. The Counting on couple took their daughters, Felicity and Evangeline, trick-or-treating with friends. Inspired by the Cat in the Hat, the Vuolos dressed the part and enjoyed the candy-filled holiday together. This wasn't shocking though. Since leaving the Institute in Basic Life Principles and moving from her Arkansas home, Jana has embraced some more non-secular traditions. Halloween has seen Jana and Jeremy dress up in years prior, so seeing them with their daughters was par for the course in the new life the reality TV star has embraced. Jana Duggar put together a reel on Instagram featuring the family fun on Halloween. She posed with her friends, and we got glimpses of Felicity and Evangeline in their costumes. We also saw the crowds of people participating in trick-or-treating. Jana and Jeremy choices weren't discussed much, as the family ensemble wasn't jaw-dropping or unique. However, Jana's big sister, Jill Duggar, received some criticism for the choices she and her husband, Dillard, made with their costumes. Jana Duggar and Jeremy announced they were expecting their third child a few weeks ago. The couple found out just before Jana hosted Jana Duggar's bachelorette party, when she told her sisters and mom, Michelle Duggar, she was expecting. There has already been a vlog and a podcast about the pregnancy, and the couple teased an upcoming gender reveal. They had heavily hinted they could be expecting a little boy this time, but nothing has been confirmed yet. She is due in March 2025 and will join Caitlin Nakatsu in welcoming more Duggar grandchildren. Katie is expecting twin daughters at the beginning of January, making her the first Duggar daughter/daughter-in-law to welcome multiples. Ironically, her husband, Jedidiah Duggar, is a twin too. Jana will update followers as she and Jeremy decide what to release and share. It's likely the gender reveal will happen in video form, and it will be interesting to see if any of the Duggar family members show up to take part in it, or if it will strictly be over video chat in one way or another. The couple is likely gearing up for the upcoming holidays and the traveling and Jana Duggar recently spoke about her family's discontent with the editing choices made on 19 Kids and Counting On. The two TLC series capture the lives of her large family and presented their traditions and religious lifestyle. According to Vuolo, the presentation didn't always reflect their true personalities. Some editing choices on the reality series made her and her siblings look overly dramatic or highlighted unintended conflicts. During an episode of the Jana and Jeremy podcast, the 30-year-old described how the family felt their behavior was sometimes misrepresented. She recalled instances where her reactions were paired with other dialogue, creating tension that wasn't there. "I didn't mean that," she said, referring to the moments when her facial expressions, such as an eye roll, were used to imply criticism toward her parents. Beyond portraying the family dynamics, the show also blurred the line between real memories and manufactured storylines. Vuolo noted how their genuine home videos eventually gave way to staged content meant for audiences. In the podcast, Vuolo said that the authentic footage captured faded into the background, and what aired sometimes felt far from their reality. This shift made it challenging for the Duggar family to feel truly represented in the show. During an episode of the Jana and Jeremy podcast, the 30-year-old described how the family felt their behavior was sometimes misrepresented. She recalled instances where her reactions were paired with other dialogue, creating tension that wasn't there. "I didn't mean that," she said, referring to the moments when her facial expressions, such as an eye roll, were used to imply criticism toward her parents. Beyond portraying the family dynamics, the show also blurred the line between real memories and manufactured storylines. Vuolo noted how their genuine home videos eventually gave way to staged content meant for audiences. In the podcast, Vuolo said that the authentic footage captured faded into the background, and what aired sometimes felt far from their reality. This shift made it challenging for the Duggar family to feel truly represented in the show. For Jana Duggar, these episodes were like home videos, with the added twist of TLC's production team editing and rearranging events to fit the network's narrative. However, over time, the family saw a difference between their memories and the polished, edited version that aired. Jana Duggar noted that authentic moments, like candid home footage, were gradually replaced by fully produced home videos meant for television drama. Now that the Duggar reality TV days have ended, Jana Duggar is interested in sharing the archived episodes with her children to show them glimpses of her upbringing. This perspective also offers a fresh take on why Duggars value watching reruns, even if not every scene reflects their experience. As Jana Duggar looks back on her time in the public eye, her reflections reveal a complex relationship with reality TV's portrayal. This duality of authenticity and artifice in reality TV gives her young children a unique, if partially constructed, window into their mother. Let's just say Jimmy B still isn't on our Christmas card list. Jill Dillards' relationship with her parents is still not in a great place. The former Counting On star, who has been estranged from her father Jim Bob Duggar for years and has a complex relationship with her mom Michelle, recently did a Q&A session on her Instagram account. During the Q&A, Jill was asked what her relationship with her mom and dad is like today. "Complicated," Jill began. As the Ashley previously reported, Jill and her husband Derek Dillard wrote a tell-all book about the Duggar family in 2023. The book, called Counting the Cost, recounts what the Dillards say is the real story behind Jill's family and their TV shows, 19 Kids and Counting On, with many of the stories painting Jim Bob and Michelle in a negative light. Back in January, Jill stated during a podcast interview that her parents had read her book, and that she and Derek were still on the road to figuring things out with May and Pa Duggar. According to Jill's Q&A on Saturday though, Things are still not where Jill would like them to be, but there has been some progress made. I feel like we are in a rebuilding phase now, with healthy boundaries still in place, Jill wrote. Jill made it seem like she is now seeing both Jim Bob and Michelle, which would be a change from where the relationship between her and her parents was back in January. When she said that, although she had seen her mom in the previous few months, she couldn't remember when she had last seen both Jim Bob and Michelle. Now, Jill stated that she is open to seeing her parents when her mental health allows. We try to hang out whenever it works well, and we have the mental bandwidth to navigate things, she wrote. The slight improvement in relationship comes about 6 months after both Jim Bob and Michelle, and many of Jill's siblings, showed up for a memorial service for the Isla, the daughter that Jill and Derek lost in April when she died in utero when Jill was 4 months pregnant. In photos posted by the couple of Isla's memorial service, Michelle and Jim Bob were seen paying their respects, despite the fact that Jim Bob has been estranged from Jill and Derek for years. Lots of Duggar News followers know by now what a hard childhood some of the family members had, especially the girls of the infamous family. Sadly, Josh Duggar's crimes saw the light of day, and it sent a chill down everyone's spine. He has been guilty of molesting his own minor sisters as a teenager, and things only got worse from there. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's daughters have been brave enough to speak of their childhood trauma. However, the parents have been busy saving their felon son, Josh Duggar, who is now serving 12.5 years in prison. Meanwhile, siblings like Jill Duggar have continued to voice the fears they faced while growing up. In her book, she expressed her concerns about CPS splitting her family apart. How so? Duggar News followers know how important religion has been in the life of the family. So the community leaders from the family's church were the first ones to hear about Josh Duggar's dark side. He had confessed to molesting 4 of his sisters to a girl he had begun to court, while the latter wrote to him about the situation in a letter but never gave it to him. The girl put the letter inside a book and asked a friend to give it to Josh. However, the friend ended up finding the letters and involved the church leaders in the case. Long story short, the news spread like wildfire, and TLC canceled the family show 19 Kids and Counting. However, in her book Counting the Cost, Jill Duggar expresses how such a situation affected her. She worried CPS would break her family apart and give her siblings custody to different orphanages, as mentioned above. Jill has given a very raw insight into what was going on in her head after Josh Duggar's crime came to light. Her sister Jessa had said how her parents, Jim Bob and Michelle, had given them the bare minimum information about Josh. They said that he was staying with a relative and would begin working in construction, but no one explained why. But in the book, Jill said she was extremely anxious when the news got out. She feared CPS would take over after declaring her parents unfit to be looking after their big family, and they would get assigned to different orphanages. Well, no such thing happened. But Duggar News fans were heartbroken after finding out what was going on in young Jill's mind. Apart from her, Jana Duggar has also spoken up against Josh Duggar in her podcasts, books, and so on. Counting on alum JoyAnna Duggar Forsyth is getting a lot of attention following her recent IG post. The 27-year-old has been documenting her life as a mother to 3 children. Many of her posts today feature their trips and other family activities. JoyAnna also made headlines after sharing her epic fail hair dye. But what caught the attention of many was the term she used during her special time with her friend. Keep reading to see what happened. JoyAnna recently took to social media to share a clip from her wild decision to dye her hair using a product she bought from the mall. According to the Counting on alum, she has no idea how it would turn out. Unfortunately, the dye ended up too dark, and JoyAnna was devastated by the results. She was holding back her tears while laughing with her friend. JoyAnna later uploaded new videos at a salon to get her hair fixed. Some Redditors react to JoyAnna Duggar Forsyth's latest IG stories. According to the former Counting On star, she's currently working out and calls it their metabolic conditioning day. But the Reddit user thinks Austin's wife was referring to metabolic, sparking speculations that she either misspelled it or she didn't know what it meant. Meanwhile, several people recalled the rumors that JoyAnna is dyslexic. This comes after she sent her son, Gideon, to a dyslexia tutor. She said, "Something I didn't know is that dyslexia is genetic. I've got it on my side of the family. Austin has it on his side of the family." Of all the kids they failed with the SOTDRT, I think they failed Joy most of all. Is that like a company name advertisement trying to pun the word metabolic? Or did they really just not know how to spell metabolic? I think this is just SOTDRT striking again sadly. In her mind, the spelling probably makes sense because it's related metabolic, greater than health, greater than medical. Given that it's Joy, I really think they don't know how to spell metabolic. Do we know if she's actually dyslexic? I know she's mentioned some of her family is, but is Joy dyslexic? Aside from her questionable terms, JoyAnna has also been getting into trouble regarding her parenting. Her kids have already been rushed to the hospital multiple times this year. One of them was Gunnar, who choked on the piece of ham she fed him. Gunnar also made headlines last month after he was sent to the hospital again, after experiencing short